Have you ever felt exhausted the moment you woke up, even after a full night's sleep? Or spent the whole day dragging yourself around, searching for a strength that just isn't there? Maybe you've started to believe that it's normal, that the problem is work, traffic, people, the world itself. But what if it's not just what's outside that's wearing you down? What if it's also what's happening inside you? There are silent habits, almost invisible, that drain your energy day after day until you have nothing left to give. And the worst part is, they seem harmless. Small, repetitive actions, tiny daily concessions that, when combined, open the door for burnout to walk right in, and you don't even notice. Before we go any further, take a second to subscribe to the channel. This is a safe space for anyone who feels tired, lost, or on the edge. Here, we talk about mind, body, and soul with honesty. No judgment, just real understanding and practical ways to rebuild yourself. So hit that subscribe button, turn on the notifications, and stay with us. Your mental health deserves this care. Burnout doesn't show up overnight. It's a process, slow, constant, and often invisible. It's like every day you spill a little bit of your energy on things you don't even notice, until one day, when you need strength, there's nothing left. That's why identifying these 7 habits is so important, because they're like emotional leaks. You don't see them, but they're there, quietly stealing your vitality, dulling your focus, draining what's most precious, your mental energy. The first habit is emotional autopilot, living on automatic mode, without ever asking yourself how you actually feel. You wake up, work, reply to messages, complete tasks, but you don't really feel anything. You look present, but inside, you're gone. And that's dangerous, because when you stop feeling, your body starts carrying all the emotions you refuse to process. Every time you ignore what you feel, a bit of your energy is consumed trying to hold up the illusion that everything is fine. That's why so many people say, "I can't take it anymore," without even knowing exactly what's weighing them down. The exhaustion doesn't come from what you do. It comes from what you carry in silence. The second habit is excessive self-criticism. That inner voice that never gives you peace, that demands perfection, that makes you feel not good enough even when you're doing your best. That voice is like a parasite living inside your head. It eats away at your energy with every thought, convincing you that resting is laziness, that mistakes mean failure, that asking for help means weakness. And trying to please that voice keeps you in a constant state of tension. Your mind never relaxes. It's always trying to prove something. And that's why so many people feel exhausted even without doing anything physically demanding. The exhaustion comes from internal judgment, from the effort of trying to be perfect, from the fear of disappointing others. The third habit is taking on meaningless obligations. Think about it. How many things do you do in a day that have nothing to do with what truly matters to you? How many times have you said yes just to avoid conflict, just so no one would think badly of you? Every yes you give to something you don't want is a no you give to yourself. And that imbalance is one of the roots of burnout. Because burnout doesn't just come from overworking, it comes from a lack of purpose. You can work hard and still feel alive if what you do connects you to something meaningful. But if everything you do just drains you, emptiness grows until it swallows you whole. Your body keeps going, but your soul shuts down. The fourth habit is worshiping productivity. That belief that you only have value when you're doing something. That rest is a waste of time. That stillness is laziness. That being calm means you're not trying hard enough. That's one of the most toxic beliefs of our generation. We live in a culture that glorifies constant doing, but forgets that human beings need pauses to rebuild. No one can stay active, available, and connected 24/7. The mind needs silence. The body needs rest. The heart needs time to feel. When you ignore that, You start living in survival mode. And surviving isn't the same as living. The fifth habit is overconsumption of stimulation. The human mind wasn't designed to handle this much noise, this much information, this much comparison. Social media, news, notifications, opinions, all of it sucks your attention and scatters your focus. And when your focus is fragmented, your energy is divided. You start feeling like you're constantly busy but never moving forward, always tired but not sure why. The overloaded mind collapses. Burnout in this case is the scream of a brain that can't take being invaded all the time. The sixth habit is emotional isolation. It's when you start believing you have to handle everything alone, that showing vulnerability is weakness, that no one would understand what you're feeling. Slowly, you start shutting down. You talk less, you feel less, and you begin carrying the whole world on your shoulders. But human beings aren't built to live emotionally alone. We need connection, support, affection. When you isolate yourself, the weight doubles. Your mind tries to hold on, but eventually it breaks. And when it breaks, the emptiness rushes in, despair, numbness, and that deep feeling of being completely disconnected from life. And the seventh habit is self-abandonment. It's when you take care of everything and everyone except yourself. When you forget to eat well, to sleep enough, to express what you feel, to do what you love. You start fading away just to keep the world around you running. And that's the most dangerous point of all. Because burnout, at its core, is the collapse of someone who forgot themselves. The mind and the body eventually stop, not as punishment, but as protection. When you abandon yourself, your body forces you to stop, to remind you that you also need to exist for yourself. Now take a second and think, how many of these habits are part of your life right now? 1, 2, maybe all of them. Be honest with yourself, because the first step to change is awareness. If you want, comment below with the phrase, "I recognize that I'm burning out." That simple sentence is an act of courage. It's the beginning of a new awareness that you deserve to care for yourself with the same dedication you give to everyone else. These 7 habits aren't just behaviors. They're symptoms of a mind that has learned to survive chaos. And the truth is, we've all fallen into one or more of them at some point. The problem is when they become routine, when survival mode becomes your way of living, when exhaustion becomes your new normal. And that's when everything starts to lose color. You become someone who simply checks off tasks. No sparkle in your eyes, no lightness in your heart. That's burnout taking shape, quietly, disguised as normal life. But freedom from that is possible. Burnout isn't a life sentence. It's a signal. A cry for help from your mind and your body, saying something needs to change. And the good news is, change is possible. With awareness, small actions, and the decision to put yourself back at the center of your own life. The secret isn't to be stronger, but to use your strength more wisely. Shielding yourself from burnout means learning to choose what truly deserves your energy. It's understanding that not everything that feels urgent is important. It's learning to observe yourself, respect yourself, and listen to yourself before exhaustion speaks for you. And to do that, you have to build new habits, habits of protection, of rest, of reconnection. But before you can build new ones, you need to understand why these 7 have such power over you. They feed on fear, the fear of disappointing people, the fear of not being enough, the fear of losing control, the fear of being left behind. And as long as fear is fueling your routine, you'll keep running in circles. That's why the real antidote to burnout begins when you trade fear for presence, when you start living with awareness, attention, and choice. And I know it's not easy. We live in a world that demands speed, performance, and perfection, a world that makes you believe that stopping is failing. But the truth is, only those who stop from time to time can keep going for longer. Rest isn't the opposite of progress. It's part of it. And if you want to protect yourself from burnout, you need to start respecting the natural rhythm of your mind and body. In the next part, I'll show you, step by step, how to replace each of these 7 draining habits with simple, practical actions that truly restore your energy and strengthen your mind. Small changes that, when added together, can completely transform your well-being and help you bring back the light that exhaustion tried to take away. But before we move on, remember one thing: you're not a machine built to produce. You're a human being built to live. Now that you've seen the 7 habits that silently burn your energy, it's time to rebuild. Because awareness without action still leaves you stuck in the same cycle. The goal now isn't to suddenly become a completely different person. It's to begin taking small, consistent steps that bring your energy back to life. You don't need to do everything at once. Burnout recovery begins one gentle decision at a time. Let's start by replacing that first habit, emotional autopilot, with something powerful called emotional presence. It means allowing yourself to actually feel what's happening inside you instead of running from it. Every time you pause and ask yourself, "What am I feeling right now?" you bring awareness back to your body. If you're angry, let yourself notice it. If you're tired, honor that. If you're happy, allow yourself to enjoy it without guilt. Presence is what gives meaning to life. You can't protect your energy if you're disconnected from your emotions, because emotions are your internal signals. They tell you when something needs attention. Try this small practice. Once a day, stop for 1 minute, take a deep breath, and simply name what you feel, even if you can't change it yet. Naming your feelings brings clarity, and clarity brings relief. Little by little, you'll stop living on autopilot and start living awake. The second habit we need to transform is excessive self-criticism. The antidote here is self-compassion. And no, it's not about being complacent or avoiding responsibility. It's about treating yourself with the same kindness you'd show to someone you love. When you fail, instead of saying "I'm useless," try saying "I did my best with what I knew at the time." When you rest, instead of thinking "I'm wasting time," remind yourself, "I'm recharging so I can keep going." Science proves it. Self-compassion literally rewires your brain. It reduces stress hormones, improves emotional resilience, and increases motivation. You stop being paralyzed by guilt and start being fueled by care. You become your own ally instead of your own enemy. Next comes the third habit, doing too many meaningless obligations. The solution is to practice intentional living. That means asking yourself before saying yes to something, "Is this aligned with my energy and my values?" If not, you're allowed to say no. You're allowed to choose where your energy goes. You can't pour from an empty cup, and you don't owe everyone access to your time. Try this. Make a list of everything that fills your schedule. Then highlight only what truly matters, what brings you growth, peace, or joy. The rest, start letting it go. It may feel uncomfortable at first, especially if you've been the yes person all your life. But every no you say to what drains you is a yes to your health. That's how you begin to reclaim control over your energy. Now let's face the fourth habit, constant productivity. The best way to heal from that is by embracing the rhythm of balance. Productivity is not the opposite of rest. It's sustained by it. You cannot be creative, present, or effective without recovery. Start scheduling rest like you would any other important appointment, because it is. If you can, take 1 day a week, even half a day, with no productivity goals, no emails, no to-do list, no guilt. Just be. Sit in silence. Go for a walk. Read. Listen to music. Breathe. It's in those quiet spaces that your brain resets. Remember, you're not lazy for resting. You're wise for preventing collapse. The fifth habit, overconsumption of stimulation, needs a digital detox approach. Our minds weren't built to process endless notifications, news, and opinions. So, start setting mental boundaries. Choose specific moments to check your phone or social media instead of doing it all day. Turn off non-essential notifications. Create tech-free zones, like your meals, your mornings, or your evenings. Even a small break from digital noise brings massive relief. Within a few days, you'll notice your mind becoming calmer and your focus sharper. You'll start feeling more present, not scattered across 1,000 screens. Protecting your attention is protecting your peace. The sixth habit, emotional isolation, must be replaced with connection. Healing doesn't happen in isolation, it happens in safe relationships. Talk to someone. You don't need to pour your heart out to everyone, but find one person who feels safe and open up. It could be a friend, a therapist, a loved one. Sharing what you feel lightens the load your mind has been carrying alone. We all need to feel seen and heard. Sometimes just saying out loud, "I'm not okay," is enough to start healing. Vulnerability isn't weakness, it's truth. And truth brings freedom. The moment you stop pretending that everything's fine, the pressure begins to ease. Finally, the seventh habit, self-abandonment. The cure for that is radical self-care. Not the superficial kind that social media sells, but the real, intentional care that builds stability from the inside out. It's about nourishing your body, calming your mind, and honoring your limits. Start small. Eat something nourishing. Go to bed at a decent time. Stretch for 5 minutes. Drink water. Take breaks before you crash. Listen to music that soothes you. Write down your thoughts. Celebrate little victories. The small things are not insignificant. They are the foundation of your recovery. Self-care isn't selfish. It's survival. You cannot take care of others if you are constantly running on empty. The moment you begin to treat yourself as someone worth caring for, your energy naturally begins to rebuild. Now, let's put this all together. Replacing these 7 draining habits doesn't mean living a perfect life. It means living consciously. It means no longer giving away your peace to things that don't deserve it. When you learn to protect your energy, everything starts to shift. Your focus returns. Your creativity blooms. Your emotions stabilize. You start feeling like yourself again. And there's something deeper here. Energy isn't just physical. It's emotional, mental, and spiritual. Everything you think, feel, and do affects that energy. When you live in alignment with your truth, your energy expands. When you live in constant conflict with yourself, it burns out. So, the question isn't, how can I have more energy? The question is, what am I giving my energy to? Every time you choose peace over pressure, connection over isolation, compassion over criticism, you protect your inner fire. That's how you build an invisible shield against burnout, not by being stronger, but by being wiser about where your strength goes. And maybe you're wondering, how do I keep this going when life gets chaotic again? The answer is rhythm. Burnout recovery isn't a one-time event. It's a lifelong practice of balance. Some days you'll feel centered, others you'll feel lost again. That's normal. The goal isn't to avoid exhaustion forever, it's to recognize it early before it takes over. So, check in with yourself daily. Ask, what do I need today? That simple question can change everything. Because your needs aren't weaknesses, they're directions. They show you where your boundaries are, where your healing is still unfolding. And please, don't underestimate the power of rest. Rest isn't empty time. It's the space where your mind integrates everything you've learned, where your body repairs itself, where your soul finds peace again. Sometimes the most productive thing you can do is stop. Let's pause for a second. Breathe deeply. Inhale through your nose. Exhale slowly through your mouth. Feel your shoulders drop. That breath right there. That's your body remembering it's safe. That's the beginning of healing. You are not meant to live exhausted. You are meant to live present, fulfilled, whole. And it begins with choosing yourself again and again, even when the world tells you to keep pushing. If you're still here, that means a part of you is ready to change, ready to stop running on empty, ready to stop measuring your worth by how much you produce, ready to reclaim your energy. That's courage, real, quiet courage. So from now on, promise yourself this: you will rest before you collapse. You will say no before resentment builds. You will ask for help before you break. You will listen to your body before it screams, because burnout isn't a badge of honor. It's a warning sign, and the sooner you honor that sign, the sooner you return to yourself. Remember this: your energy is sacred. It fuels everything: your work, your relationships, your creativity, your joy. Protect it fiercely. Because when your energy is balanced, life flows. You stop surviving and start living again. And if this message spoke to you, take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who might need this reminder. You never know whose life you might touch with a single act of kindness. You deserve peace. You deserve rest. You deserve to wake up with lightness again. Take care of your mind. Guard your energy. And remember, healing doesn't happen when life gets easier. It happens when you finally decide that your well-being matters more than your performance. So breathe, slow down, come back to yourself, because you are the home you've been searching for all along.